Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with another mail call for Liberty Hill Comics. The channel is where I share my 40 plus years and my passion for comic book collecting, investing, and conservation with you. Today we are opening an extremely important Silver Age key, a very early book, and one that is critical to the success of the Silver Age, and eventually of the Marvel Age, and eventually of the Marvel Universe. So I'm really excited to share it with you. I truly appreciate you joining me today. I am sincerely grateful for everybody who views and visits the channel, but especially those that take the time to like and subscribe and to comment on the videos. So I'm excited to share this one with you. I'm giddy with anticipation to hold this book. I've never owned this book in this high a grade. I've owned this book in a much lower grade before. This is a raw book, but it's coming to us with some extreme amount of packaging and a case. Showcase sealer. Wow. Would you look at that? Wow. What an incredible book. Let's see what it takes to get it out of this case that has patents pending. I'm not familiar with this, but it looks like it probably just comes apart right here. Yeah, that was easy enough. Okay. Well, this added quite a bit of protection to the shipment and might be a really great way to display it too. But let's get it out of the way for now. And have a better look at this book. One of the nice things about buying raw books is you can really investigate the condition for yourself, and you can enjoy the book and have a look at the page quality. You can smell the book. I guess most importantly, you can read the book. Wow. Well, as I like to say, what is it and why do we care? This is showcase number 22, cover dated October 1959. It's written by John Broome, penciled by Gil Kane, who signed it right here, G over K. It's the origin and first appearance of Hal Jordan, the Silver Age Green Lantern. It's also the first appearance of Abin, who was the Green Lantern that bestowed his ring to Hal Jordan, and of Carol Ferris, the eventual love interest to Hal Jordan, although she rebuffs him in this issue, and eventual antagonist of Green Lantern, Star Saphire. Also introduced in this issue are Coast City and the Ferris Aircraft Company. This is one of the most important comic books of the early Silver Age, as I mentioned. Green Lantern was only the second of the Golden Age heroes to be reimagined in the Silver Age. Continued building on the success of the relaunch of The Flash and led to the formation of the Justice League, which ultimately led to the creation of the Marvel Universe. After the success of the reimagining of The Flash in Showcase number 4 in October of 1956, which is now widely recognized as the book that marked the beginning of the Silver Age of comic books, DC was looking for another success story. In the comic book industry, as in a lot of other industries, if something is selling well, you try to put out more products like the one that's doing well. It took a while to realize that the new Flash was a commercial success. But once they did, Julius Schwartz and company got with John Broome and Gil Kane to make Green Lantern the second of the DC Golden Age heroes to be reimagined in the Silver Age. They gave him, like the Flash, a makeover that included a new identity and a retelling of the origin that shifted from the fantastical to the science fiction-based origin of the Silver Age. And this is the book in which they did it, Showcase number 22 from October of 1959. Green Lantern got 2 more tryout issues in Showcase, issues 23 and then 24. Then, in August of 1960, DC launched a Green Lantern ongoing series, which was very successful, running 12 years until issue 89 in 1972, before taking a short hiatus and then continuing on into the Copper Age. After Green Lantern, DC turned to relaunching the Justice Society of America as the Justice League of America in Brave and the Bold number 28, published in March 1960. The story goes that Martin Goodman was golfing with a DC exec that told him the new Justice League book was a huge financial success, and this prompted Goodman to order Stan Lee to get some superheroes into the Marvel publishing lineup, which led to the launch of the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and eventually the Marvel Age of Comics. So this book was a critical step in the development of the Marvel Universe and all of the forms of media around it that we enjoy today. I've been casually collecting the Silver and Bronze Age Green Lantern series since I started buying comic books in 1981. But lately I've been focused on buying the key books from this series in an effort to purchase them now in the event a live-action Green Lantern series is a big success and prices skyrocket due to increased demand. I think the Green Lantern franchise has huge potential for both the small and big screens, and I could see an entire universe of properties around the Green Lantern Corps, similar to the Star Trek franchise, some of which could be tied closely to the DCU, and some could be more standalone, as they often are in the comic books. The Green Lantern Corps is such fertile ground for storytelling it supports several monthly books at DC, and I think could easily do so in visual media as well. Apparently, James Gunn agrees, because he's stated that Lanterns, the HBO live-action series that is being developed starring Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, will be critical to setting the stage for Chapter 1 of the DCU reboot under his direction. It's been announced that the first season of the series will feature origins of both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and that it will be a terrestrial-based show. So there are several potential catalysts to bring new demand for this book and drive market prices higher. This was an eBay purchase. I won this book for the opening bid of $2,500 plus shipping and taxes. Based on the images of the auction, I estimated the condition to be approximately 5.0. Let's take a quick walk through the book to see how I estimated it. The cover presents really nicely. There's a tiny amount of paper missing here on this corner. One color breaking crease here that sort of stands out, and otherwise a very clean, nicely presenting cover. This staple here is visible and the paper around it looks quite intact. The staple here looks like there may be a slight amount of paper tear around it. We'll investigate that a little further. Moving into the book, let's check out paper quality. Here with my owl card, looks to me like the paper is pretty solidly off-white. Perhaps on the dark side of off-white here on the inside of the cover, but here on the leading edge of the interior pages, maybe even white to off-white. We see that small amount of paper loss here, but we don't see anything else troubling on the inside cover here, nor on this page. That crease, it looks like folded this page as well a little bit, but that would be something I imagine would be easy to press out. The first page is a splash page, which gives us, similar to most comics at the time, an idea of what's going to happen in the story, and somewhat interestingly, no story credits here. Also, that was more or less standard at the time, especially at DC. I don't see any real condition issues here. One of the interesting things I think about these really early Silver Age books, they still had this really large empty space up here. The image didn't fill the space quite yet like it would in the later Silver Age. This is sort of the spacing that you're familiar with from Golden Age books. Here's our first image of Abin Sur, who is dying but is possessed of a very familiar item that we know as the Green Lantern. We learn he must find a deserving Earthman to pass on the battery of power before he dies. Using the power of the ring, he retrieves Hal Jordan, who is in a test cockpit at the Ferris aircraft company for which he is a test pilot. Abin Sur greets him telepathically. Abin Sur introduces himself to Hal, and he tells him that it is too late for him, but that Hal has been chosen because he is both fearless and honest. He explains that the ring will pass to Hal, who will have power over everything except that which is yellow. Really beautiful pages here. Again, really nice paper quality. Hal receives the ring from Abin Sur, and with Abin Sur's passing, we learn that he instructed Hal to don the ring and his special uniform, and that Hal vowed to carry out his new responsibilities, whatever they may be, to the best of his ability. That's it. The basic origin story is just 5 pages plus the opening splash, and that sets the stage for the character for the next 60 plus years, while leaving enough details unexplained for future writers to fill in. It's really a great, to the point, but very complete origin story. The rest of the book contains 2 more Green Lantern stories and a couple of other fillers. Both of the other 2 stories revolve around Hal sort of learning the ropes. Here we're introduced to Carol Ferris. Carol Ferris obviously becomes sometime antagonist of Green Lantern Star Saphire, starting with issue number 16 of Green Lantern's self-titled series. They revolve around Hal being a test pilot and stopping saboteurs in his role as Green Lantern. Beautiful Gil Kane layouts and dynamic art. Gil Kane was really a legend for a reason and defined the look of Green Lantern and the Atom and a number of other really important characters both in the Marvel and DC universe. He was a cover artist for Marvel for a long time, in the Bronze Age in particular. Made some of Marvel's most dynamic covers. Here we get Hal being rebuffed by Carol Ferris, and she announces that she doesn't date employees, which is fabulous. Really nice staples. The paper around the staples is healthy. And this being the centerfold, it's always good to just make sure the centerfold isn't missing. The story is continuous here. This is page 8 of the story and page 9 of the second story. So that second story is about 8 2/3 pages long. And again, importantly, introduces Carol and her father of the Ferris Aircraft Company. Little infomercial here on guided missiles. This being the atomic age, there was a lot of interest in test pilots. Test pilots like Chuck Yeager were superstars. So this was a very dramatic and heroic profession at the time. Notice a lot of yellow items, the weakness of the ring against yellow is something that comes up over and over again. We get the great oath here, and we see that Hal has more success with Carol with the mask on than he did with the mask off. Presumably she doesn't know that Green Lantern works for her. Again, we get Green Lantern stopping saboteurs. And a little bit of drama between Green Lantern and Carol already. The back cover has a couple of condition issues. We see there's a piece of paper missing right here, and there is, of course, a tear here and here. But again, paper quality is quite nice, no brittleness here. You can note that, in fact, this is not missing, it's just a flap. And down here, this paper isn't missing either. It's just been folded over. So those can both be certainly improved in appearance. And I think that my original assessment of this book at a, let's just push that down and push that down so I can flip this over without making them any worse. I think my original assessment of this book at a 5.0 is a very reasonable one. Now we could go one of two routes with this. We could leave it as is, and I think we're going to be in that 4.5 to 5.5 range. I would estimate it still at a 5.0, plus or minus half grade. Or we could mend those two rips on the back and go for a conserved grade. I don't think we're going to get much better, and I don't think we're going to necessarily maximize value doing that, but that is a consideration just to conserve the book. There are 1,121 universal copies of Showcase number 22 in the CGC Census, with a median grade of only 3.5. This book is so tough and high grade, which is why I was thrilled to find this mid-grade copy for such a reasonable price. This copy, if it was to grade out at a 5.0, would sit at the 22nd percentile. Go Collect calculates the fair market value of a slabbed 5.0 to be about $6,500, with a trailing 12-month average of just under that at $6,494, a last sale of $6,689 plus shipping and taxes, and an all-time record high price of $7,500. If I get this book slabbed and I'm correct in my assessment of the grade, I stand to create over $3,000 in equity for my personal collection on this book, even after grading fees at CGC. And that is before any potential catalyst we may experience with the Green Lantern in the DCU. So I see tremendous upside potential in this book, and I'm thrilled to be able to put a very solid mid-grade copy into my personal collection. This is another one, folks, where it's really an embarrassment of riches to be the caretaker of such a beautiful book. I realize just how fortunate I am, and I'm full of gratitude for being able to own this book and share it with you. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and market report video on Showcase number 22, the first appearance of Hal Jordan, the Silver Age Green Lantern. Anyone else hunting this book? Do you think the gamble I took in buying this raw book will pay off or be a bust? What would you do about slabbing it? Would you send it in this way, or would you conserve it first? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, if you like this content, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. Until next time, happy hunting and take care of one another.